Miami Public Schools is putting their bond issue before the voters again, but this time with some changes. I'm Ty Parks, and all that story coming up.
Plus, the future of a proposed solar farm in southeast Kansas remains in limbo as tensions surrounding the project remain high. And teachers in the Pittsburg School District get a helping hand thanks to an infusion of grant money.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Miami Public School District is putting its bond issue before voters again after it failed in the fall, this time with an increased amount requested. This is KOAM News. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Ty Parks spoke with the Miami School Superintendent about the necessity for the funds.
The Miami Public Schools is asking voters to approve a $15.7 million bond. Miami Superintendent Jill Douthit tells KOAM what the increase will do.
We were not going to be able to do the exterior walls at Nichols and replace the exterior doors. Every classroom currently has an exterior door, and that's a safety concern. So with this issue, we're going to be able to change all of the exterior walls to where they do not have that outside access.
Also, a playground will be added to the Will Rogers facility, among other updates planned. In Miami area Facebook groups, people are expressing concerns about the groundwater at the site of the new school building.
We reached out to have additional testing done at our site. DEQ declined at that time to do the additional testing because of the non-detect status. So we went ahead and we did third-party testing to find out what environmental issues are there. And that third-party testing also came out and said that there was no detect for benzene or anything like that.
The bond issue failed in fall of 2025.
In Oklahoma is that you have to have a supermajority for them to pass. And we were 2 votes shy from having that supermajority. So we really think that we have the momentum with our community to be able to pass this issue this time. We had several people that came out and said we just thought it was going to pass.
The mill rate would be 29 cents for every $100 assessed. In Miami, Oklahoma, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
Voters will go back to the polls on February 10th to vote on the bond issue. The Joplin Memorial Hall may soon see new life. A plan to save the historic venue will come before the next Joplin City Council meeting. The group of Friends of Joplin Memorial Hall has submitted a proposal to acquire and redevelop the building, subject to several conditions. Final votes on the project are supposed to take place at the February 2nd Joplin Council meeting. The city of Pittsburg works to restore the historic J.J. Richards bandshell. It has stood in Lincoln Park for nearly 90 years, but is in need of major repair. Money was directed to fix it up, but now workers have discovered extensive termite damage hidden behind a wall. Now the city approved continuing the project under a new scope and using the remaining balance to do so. The Band Dome has been the center of music and culture. Meteorologist Austin Stantz joins us now with a first look at weather.
Thanks, Tanya. Today we were getting some video coming in of some areas around the community that are just covered still in snow and in ice. And over the past 48 hours, we saw temperatures above freezing, which caused some slushy conditions out there. And now that temperatures have dropped below freezing, getting areas like this that are very slick and very icy out there right now. So just make sure to be very careful this evening. Now, taking a look at what we're seeing, just some overcast skies, but our cold front is beginning to move in. So while we're seeing a few flurries now, they're just going to be blowing around, not really accumulating, could make the ground just a little bit more slick out there this evening. But if you need to take the dog out for a walk this evening, conditions are not great for it right now. Temperatures falling into the teens out there as we head into the evening hours tonight. We're going to break down just how cold it's going to get and how it's going to impact you and your weekend coming up.
All right, thanks, Austin. Tensions remain high over the proposed Shasta solar project as developers and county officials continue to debate its future and the path forward. A Shasta representative says the development depends on tax credits and approvals, warning the project could be abandoned if the process stalls, while firmly denying claims that landowners were threatened or that eminent domain was discussed. They say recent outreach efforts and proposed financial incentives were meant to reduce conflict and give nearby residents a stake in the project.
We estimate that the project would cost about $500 million, and we've talked with, of course, with the assessor about what the tax flows would be to the county, approximately $77 million over the life of the project.
Even with those projected tax benefits, the project cannot move forward unless commissioners lift the moratorium. The USD 250 Foundation distributed nearly $25,000 in grant funding to support the district's teachers. Priority is given to grant applications that enhance structured literacy and standard skills for state assessments. John Bartlow, the president of the USD 250 Foundation, says the grant lets teachers branch out from budget concerns and try new things in the classroom.
Those projects that teachers put the grants in for, they vary from things related to STEM, things related, of course, to reading, things related to different sorts of science projects, and really, some really incredibly innovative programs that our teachers are doing.
Awarded teachers received their grants at a reception that took place earlier this week. Bartlow says he would like to thank those in the community whose generosity has continued to fund the foundation. Beware of thin ice coming up. Frozen lakes keep emergency crews in Arkansas busy with stranded animals. But up first,
a local sourdough artisan is helping provide bread for her community. I'm Nellie Lopez with more details on that coming up.
A Joplin baker turns personal struggle into community support. KOAM's Nellie Lopez gives us a closer look at how a baker's sourdough hobby is helping put bread on the table.
I started baking about 2.5 years ago. I was in a mom group at my church, and I was actually going through postpartum depression at the time, and I found a really cool group of people, and a woman there invited me to her house to learn how to make sourdough.
Beth later found baking sourdough was the best therapy for her. At the time, she was finding it challenging to extend compassion to others. However, when the government shut down in the late 2025, leaving many families in need, baking took on a deeper, more meaningful purpose for her.
When I had heard that the government was shutting down, I knew that there were going to be hungry people in our community.
By then, Beth already had several customers buying her sourdough. She decided to take it a step further.
I shot them an email and I said, hey, this is my idea. If you want to sponsor a loaf, you can sponsor a loaf for $5. That was basic cost. That was not going to give me any profit at all.
With the help of the community, she had sourdough bread ready to donate.
I decided if it were me and I were needing bread, I probably would not want to show my face to someone. So I just decided to leave it in the blessing box, and then whoever came to the box could get it.
Community boxes like this one, where you can take what you need and leave what you can, giving the community the option of getting food and maintaining privacy. She could simply buy bread, a much cheaper and faster option, but she believes someone without the means to eat should have access to healthy options.
Sourdough bread is healthy, and so being able to give families something healthy that's going to nourish their kids, themselves, that's really nice too.
In Joplin, Nellie Lopez, KOAM News.
Beth also puts all the ingredients on the bread labels along with a Bible verse to let the person know they're not alone, a way for her to spread some hope. A little later, how the Wyandotte High School football program looks to hit restart with a change at the top.
And watch your step this weekend as below zero temperatures going to cause some icy conditions out there. I'll have details coming up. Well, there's no sunset to be found in the commute this evening. We're seeing some gloomy, kind of overcast skies tonight, providing also a little bit of a messy commute out there. Just a few blowing flurries around, not expecting any accumulation. Could it make the ground a little bit slicker? Yes, that's possible, but we've already seen that happening due to temperatures below zero out there below freezing, right now. 21 degrees right now. It feels like 9 degrees out there, so we're already down to feeling like single digits. The winds are out of the north, right around 12 miles per hour. There's a reason why we're seeing some of those flurries right now. Here's our cold front beginning to move in. Remember, this was a stationary front yesterday. That cold Arctic air behind it is now winning that battle between the cold air and the warm air. But here's that low pressure here, still providing a little bit of moisture here, and that's where we're seeing some of that snowfall. Cold air condenses, so it's smaller in volume, so it needs less amount of moisture to develop some precipitation. Well, that's exactly what we're seeing. As the cold air pushes in, some of that moisture was feeding into that, and that was giving us those short bursts of some flurries that we were seeing out there this evening. Taking a look though, our front's beginning to pass just off to our north here. Nevada, as you go along 49, most of the cloud cover already clearing out of that area. You head south of 44, you could still run into a brief snow shower there near Monette down into Bentonville, but over the next hour or so, things are going to begin to clear out. Here's a look at our Indigo Casino Sky and Resort Cam outside right now. Again, a little bit gloomy out there this evening. Take a look, though, as we take a look at our future track temperatures. It's going to be headed down into the teens by the time we reach the 10 o'clock hour. So things are going to start to get very cold, especially as this front passes down into the single digits by the time we reach midnight. Midnight is when our cold weather advisory begins and goes through Saturday at 10 a.m. Now, as we make our way into Saturday morning, temperature is going to be near zero there. Our overnight low, right around 1 degree. We could sneak below zero there and get right around maybe 0 to -1 overnight. But the wind chill, well, by 10 o'clock, already feeling like -5 degrees out there tonight. By the time you wake up tomorrow morning, could be feeling anywhere from -10 to -15. Temperatures will warm up through Saturday a little bit, but only topping out around 20 degrees. Now, winds, we could still see an isolated 30-mile-per-hour gust through the 10 o'clock hour, but then as that front passes, winds are going to begin to calm down as we head into Saturday morning. But here's what I want to make clear. If you're headed out the door tomorrow morning or just tomorrow in general, don't slip. It's going to be very slick out there. Temperatures going to be making their way to right around 20 degrees. Here's a look at Saturday. By 5, 6 o'clock, temperatures are already back down into the teens. We're going to see mostly sunny conditions for most of your Saturday, but then we're going to see some cloud cover begin to move back in heading into Saturday night. Now, we do still need some rain in the forecast, but our next chance to see some rainfall is not going to be until right around Tuesday. We get back into the 50s on Monday. Some moisture moves into the area, brings about some rain chances for Tuesday. Sunday's back above freezing, 52 Monday. Take a look. There's our system Tuesday and Wednesday. Back to 49 on Thursday, so right around 50. Could break into the 50s there. I'm just excited to see 50 in the forecast at all at this point, Tanya. We've been dealing with sub-zero temperatures, it feels like, on and off for the last 3 weeks.
I know. It's going to be nice to have a stretch where it's above freezing every day.
I know winter's going to begin melting away. Spring's right around the corner.
No complaints here. All right. Thanks, Austin. We'll check out this video from the City of Olathe Fire Department. Crews from the department joined forces with the Fort Scott Fire Department to rescue this distressed deer from the icy waters of Lake Fort Scott. The deer was stranded about 100 yards from the shore. Now, across parts of the country, frozen ponds and lakes are drawing people onto thin ice, often to help animals in distress. In central Arkansas this week, a pair of dramatic rescues ended with lives saved, but also served as a stark warning about the risk of going out onto frozen water. As Christopher Gay reports, safety officials say the situation can turn deadly in seconds.
Wait, because if you do not have the proper gear and you get in that cold water, it will kill you.
Shannon Ellington spent 25 years with the Little Rock Fire Department before joining the Pulaski County Office of Emergency Management. He once watched one of his captains attempt a daring water rescue.
His grandbaby had fell in the water. The water was still cold. He jumped in the water and got the baby, was able to give the baby back to the mother on the boat, and he went under and never come back up.
It's a risk that Joel Newman took to save a young deer on Wednesday, who he believes had been injured.
Apparently it had been attacked, possibly by a coyote, a bobcat, I don't know. I don't recommend doing what we did because we took a chance.
Shannon Ellington made a save of his own this past week, rescuing a dog that had fallen through the ice in an East End pond.
Went down there, located the dog, got into my gear, waited for East End Fire Department to arrive on scene.
Once assistance arrived, Ellington was ready to make the save.
Hooked a tag line to me. I slid out across the ice to where the dog was at. Was able to get my hands on the dog and get him up on the ice sheet.
At one point, Ellington fell through the ice, but it didn't stop him from getting the dog, named Chewy, out of the freezing waters.
But it wasn't too deep, fortunately. It was cold. It was very cold. Pretty good sized puppy, too. He's about 100-pound. He was a hefty little fella.
Despite Ellington's life-saving actions, he doesn't usually interact with animals.
The irony of this whole story is I'm allergic to pets.
Well, safety officials say cold water shock and hypothermia can overwhelm a person in minutes. They urge anyone who sees a person or animal fall through the ice to call 911 or local animal control rather than attempting a rescue themselves. Well, still ahead, the Wyandotte Bears have their next football coach, hiring Zach Gardner from Miami. Coming up in sports, the longtime head coach spoke with KOM Sports Director Ryan Blank to break down his decision.
Following the departure of Doug Buckmaster in December, it took no time for Wyandotte football to find their next head coach, hiring Miami's Zach Gardner earlier this month. Gardner has spent the last 8 years with the War Dogs, leading them to 3 playoff appearances during his tenure. Talking with the longtime head coach, he emphasized how Wyandotte showcased the job, making it an opportunity he couldn't deny.
The community of Wyandotte and how they're growing, and the presentation they had within themselves of the unity that they brought as an administrative staff and how they work together, the excitement of the tribe, and endless opportunities that they're having within their community. Very rural school district, home feeling, and they kind of made it, why would I not type deal.
Reflecting on his time with Miami, Gardner looked back at taking over a program coming off a winless season and turning it around. He credits his coaching staff and players for their efforts, buying into the culture, focusing on a we mentality, not me.
I was the 4th head coach for that senior group in their 4 years of high school, so we picked up an 0-10 season here, and we had success because the people that I was able to have within my corner, the coaching staff we were able to hire, it wasn't something I did personally, it was something we were able to obtain as a group, but we got kids to buy into our philosophy, and they had a really good work ethic. And who would have thought, Miami, where they had been, that of our 8 years, we made the playoffs 3 years and hosted one. So that was, that was a big success rate. Nothing that I did personally, but the things that we accomplished as a group here at Miami, that's something I'm proud of.
Gardner is staying at Miami through the rest of the school year before making the move to Wyandotte. To see my full interview with Coach, head over to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com or our YouTube page. That's it for sports. We're back with more after the break.
Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A helicopter carrying state park workers crashes into a Missouri river. We'll have the details. Plus, Oklahoma officials call off plans for an ice facility in the Sooner State. And we've got the latest in Hollywood news. Those stories and a lot more tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. A Freeman volunteer who knits caps for infants at the hospital drops off her 2,000th cap since 2019. Ruby Wright of Columbus has handcrafted more than 2,000 caps for the boys and girls born at Freeman Hospital West. Now, Ruby began in 2019 and hit a milestone of 1,000 caps in the summer of 2023. Now, Freeman says she's currently on her way to her 3,000th cap, averaging between 1 and 2 caps per night. That's impressive. Ruby says she'll keep doing it as long as her hands will let her. That's impressive.
It really is. And you know what else is impressive out there? Keeping your balance with all that ice that's out there right now. Be careful. Now, this is a look at our High Winds Casino cam. You'll notice parking lot's cleared very well. Now, it's not like that across all these communities and side streets where we're still seeing some snow left over. Temperatures below freezing still throughout tonight. Cold weather advisory until tomorrow morning. 20 degrees on Saturday, back above freezing finally on Sunday, and then some 50s to look forward to before some rainfall arrives in the middle part of the week.
All right, well, be safe out there. It's going to be slick this weekend. It's going to be cold.
That is the perfect advice.
All right, thanks, Austin. Thank you for watching. We will see you right back here at 10. Have a great evening and an even better weekend.